I suppose I can just talk. Hello. Let's bring ZBRUSH back up. I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat here. I was actually just talking to my mother, so I was kind of distracted there for a minute. We're going to open a different document that I've been working on. And probably should have opened it before because it is going to take a minute to open. It always does. If I can find it. Save this file. Oh, whoops, I did that wrong. Gosh darn it, I don't want to open the home page. Go away. Get out of here. Alright. It doesn't want to do anything. Okay. Let's just do a new document. Let's get a Z-sphere. Tools. Tool. Polysphere. Hide the light box. Make sure we're using polymesh. Drag this out. I'm here. Sorry, I was, like I said, I was talking to my mom. So, ZBRUSH. There are demo versions. You can get dumbed down free versions, but this is actually a full version because it has a lot more tools. My mom's doing good. My little sister's getting tested for COVID. My mom actually works at the hospital, so she's thinking she's got to get tested too. My father owns a restaurant, and they both work there, so they haven't been to work in a while, luckily, but my dad will not be happy if he has to close the place down. My mom was working at the hospital the last few days, so there's a possibility. The county she's in, I think, is one of the hot spots here in South Dakota right now, so hopefully everything's all right. She's in pretty good health, pretty young yet, so shouldn't really be too much of a concern, but I mean, there's always that you don't want to see anybody have that shit, you know. Alright. I don't know what I'm making. I'm basically just learning the tools here. And this program is pretty sweet as far as the things that it's capable of and how easy it is to manipulate things. Get a little brow going here. And I reset my computer, so things are working a lot better than they were before, which is a bonus because I was getting really, really irritated if you caught any of that stream earlier that was going all janky on me. Done a lot of faces so far. It's pretty good practice for using the different tools I got. Yeah, this is, if you go up here to transform, right now I have symmetry on the X. You're supposed to be able to just hit X on the keyboard to turn it on and off. So let's see if that's working. Yep, so now I can do just one side, then I can turn it back on the fly, which is pretty cool. I'm not used to this pen for the tablet yet, so I keep accidentally clicking the button, which is kind of annoying, and you'll see the thing pop up. I have used this in Blender a little bit the other day, and I used it in Fusion 360. It was actually amazing for doing sketches in Fusion, which I was surprised how well that worked. I need to divide my mesh here. There we go. A little bit smoother. Just the fine line control as opposed to the mouse is totally worth it. This tablet was like 60 bucks, man, which I think was a freaking steal. Yeah, the sculpting in Blender works really well, but ZBRUSH is pretty much dedicated to sculpting. I can do stuff like if I go up here and change from Z add to RGB, you can paint on color, which is good if, say, I want to pretend I have a grease pen here, get an outline of eyebrows, maybe that little thing there. Just get kind of an idea of where I want things to be. So if I mark my line there, switch back to Z-add, then I have kind of a guide to work my way up to, which is nice. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty impressed with this tablet so far. It's definitely worth... Oops, that's the mask. I don't want that. Definitely worth a look for sure. Another cool thing, so we're talking about 3D printing right now. This is the 3D printing channel, and I do quite a bit of 3D printing. Let me zoom out here and recenter. There is, and this comes automatically with ZBRUSH, the Z plugin here. You can go to 3D Print Hub, and whoops, Z plugin, 3D Print Hub. So I can import an STL, and then I can edit it. Or, more importantly, I can export right to STL, and this button is nice and big because that's the most common one. You can also do OBJ, but let me get let's do, oops, damn it. Go down a notch. And I've done this a ton of times today. Just kind of show how it works. Yeah, I'm sure it'll support 3MF eventually. Geez, that's really thick, isn't it? Oh, that's not too bad. Accept. And now I'm working with this. This is the sub tool. So anything I do on this model won't have any effect, but it will allow me to manipulate the sub tool that I'm working with actually. So let's up the size of that. You know what? This looks like to me like the dude from V for Vendetta. Oh, see, and then it won't let me manipulate it, so. I'm just going to decimate all this back here, so I'm not. Oop, don't want to go through its own geometry, though. Okay. Look at that mess. Let's try. It's the trim brush, which works well as a flattener. There is also a specific flattening brush. The cool thing is when I bring all this stuff up, converting an STL file to G-code. Yeah, basically you're going to use a slicer for that. If you go to my channel and check out, just type in Kira in the search this channel, you will find a lot of different tutorials depending on which version you use. There should be one for each version basically. I don't want, turning on RGB too. Don't want that. And I'm still getting used to this software myself. That's kind of why I'm playing around today. But yeah, there's tutorials for how to slice your file from STL to G-code. And if you use Kira, there's also a tutorial for settings for pretty much each individual setting in Kira. I have a playlist called Kira Settings in 5 minutes or less. And that might be helpful to you as well. The other nice thing about the tablet is, okay, so I have my intensity up here, which I can increase or decrease, but the tablet's pressure sensitive, so if I start really light and then push harder, you can see it get bigger, which is very, very good for defining things and getting things exactly where you want them. Works really, really well. I'm going to go in, and I changed the color of these eyebrows on accident. Let's just do a little painting just for fun. I must have it on erase. Let's see. There we go. CR6 SE. How long ago did you buy it, man? Just a recent purchase, like the last couple weeks or a couple months? Or because I'll tell you, you shouldn't really have any issues, but there have been a few warnings about the drawdown from the power supply being too high for the motors and it causing a little smoke show. Now, nobody's actually caught on fire yet, and I believe the instances of the smoke are actually like just barely in the double digits. Of all the thousands they made, I think it's only happened to like 12 or 13 so far. And they did release a statement saying that it was safe to use, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. But for the first few times that you run that machine, you're gonna want to make sure that you don't leave it alone. Once you're confident that it's working well, you'll be fine leaving it alone. And it is a great printer. It is a really nice machine. And Sergeant, on a side note, I just found out that my sister-in-law was granted a restraining order against my mother-in-law today. So that helps our situation immensely. We do still plan to move and get as far away from here as possible, but that gives us a little bit more time to accumulate what we need to do it without having to rush and kind of fly off half-cocked, which is nice. Like I said, I have no idea what this is. I'm just messing around. Yeah, I think that you should be all right. Like I said, I'm assuming you've ran a test print or two. Just make sure that until you run a couple of prints, and probably I would try at least a 6-hour print, and just kind of keep an eye on it. If you are going to leave it alone, there are options such as Octoprint, things like that for monitoring it. Say you want to be upstairs cooking dinner and your printer's in the basement, that could help quite a bit as well. Yeah, the switch, they had some problems with faulty switches. Initially, they had thought that that's what the problem was with the smoke, because that seems to be where it's coming from. But according to the official Creality statement, excuse me, I keep calling it Creality. According to that, it is, as I mentioned, that power drawdown. So, won't hurt to replace the switch one bit, especially if you're having issues with yours. I had a couple of Anet AT4s that it was a switch with a light in it, so it was a 3-pole switch, and for some reason, I don't know if there was a mercury tilt sensor in there or what, but for some reason I had to turn the printer on its side to get it to turn on, which was not ideal. So I fixed that by completely replacing the switches. Pretty simple fix, and nothing too overwhelming as far as electronics. Although I'm sure you're fairly capable. Most people who have 3D printers are pretty electrically and mechanically inclined before they decide to buy one. And if you're not, you will be eventually, because there's a lot of little parts and bells and whistles. One of the best parts about a 3D printer is the fact that you can customize it and change out parts and make it a unique machine. So, yep, I don't know what this is. Totally just doodling here. I like, again, the same as with the, when I'm adding Z, I can do lighter strokes, and it'll give me thinner lines with more transparency, I guess, more alpha. So that's pretty cool. Let's check out one of their pre-made models. I was putting on armor on these guys the other day. No need for that. We're going to put clothes on this guy eventually, and we don't want a giant dong sticking out, so... Alright, now... grab my standard brush, and we'll throw some masks on this guy. Change the matte cap. Let's do some pauldrons here. Symmetry on. There are a lot of files that come with ZBRUSH to work with, which is cool because you can do so much with them. Depends on which version you get. Like I said, I am not sure of the exact cost of this. I get a lot of stuff sent to me to test out on the channel. But I can tell you it's not too much, and if you are if you're willing to pirate it, there are versions out there as well. Don't recommend that. I don't not recommend that either, but I can't really tell you just go download it from Pirate Bay, because not really the best way to do things, I guess. No, we want subtool. And so this here that I masked off, if I hit extract, it'll pull it out, and if I like the shape, I can hit accept, and that's actually almost perfect for what I want. I am gonna take it down a little bit. right here because it's going to be strapped to the chest plate. Want to leave this kind of ridged like that. We'll come back and do some editing there. And the back looks good as well. So let's do a back plate now. So I need to go back to this tool here and then control and deselect the mask. And we're going to make a new mask. Hitting shift, not control. And we'll do the exact same thing where we hit extract. What up, Sarge? And let's... Oh, I didn't hit accept. That's what happened there. So accept. Increase my draw size. Since I still have the mask on, I think I liked it better like this. Let's get in there. Okay. And then, okay, so one of the cool things, I was showing my daughter this program yesterday. She actually showed me a trick because I was letting her play around with it, and she discovered that you can actually go in here. We want to change our brush. It's not in there. Okay, so these are all the brushes that come standard. You can download a ton of other brushes. Some of them are actually like parts. So if I click on this, it'll open it up and there will be like ears, hands, all this stuff up here. And I can grab these and hit the insert button and bring them in there. I don't need to do that right now. But I do want to grab a texture brush, and there are a couple of them. If I go in here, see these letters up here? Those are letters that have things underneath them. So say I want to find my damage standard tool, which I use a lot. If I hit D, it brings it up, and then I can hit S, or I can tap on it, which brings it up, which is cool. So let's hide the light box again. That's not actually the one I want. I want... there's so much in here. It takes me a minute to find it until I get used to where. Oh, actually, okay. So I think it's in here. No, that's not what I'm going for. Although. Need to divide this a little bit more. So geometry. Hang on, I'm turning it on. Gotta find my phone. I just heard it. Maybe. Where did it go? Oh, I dropped it on the floor. Ah. Alright, I got my Discord opening right now. I was trying to... There's actually a tool in here for this. And I cannot find it. There it is, layered pattern, that's what I want. So, oh, I was gonna divide this guy too. And you can see you can put texture right on there. And there's also other textures you can do as well. And the harder I push, the bigger it makes the design. So, and then there's also different matte caps. So if I want to see what it looks like in metal, I can check that out. Gold, it will turn the whole model that way for now because I haven't layered it yet, but I'm going to go back to skin. Let's grab this guy again in our subtools. We will do the chest plate, which I think is probably going to come out with nipples on it, but we'll see. So before I get into trouble, I need to make sure that I delete my old mask. And we're going to do the same thing we did. Trim that down a little bit. Trim that down a little bit. It did end up with nipples a little bit. Let's... Oh, damn it. Okay, so don't divide it until you turn the mask off, obviously. Alright, let's hit the damn standard. I'll show you what this does. So it's basically creating a crease, and then if I want to pinch and raise it up, that is holding the Alt key to do the opposite there. I didn't mean to go to snake. Well, it's the Batman style breastplate. 'Cause his is always anatomically correct, right? Man, I see, Sergeant, that your bro is just as solid as you, man. That's good. I appreciate that. It's nice, like I said, to have people to talk to when you have issues going on, and it's not always easy to talk about these things. So just having somebody who's willing to listen is amazing. And like in your case, where you understand what's going on. Let's try the snake tool if you want to check that out. Let's see the little snake hook. Grab it right here. I'm going to change this to dynamic. That way it divides it as it goes. You see it's not as... That one's offline. Not as choppy that way. So I mean, pretty sweet stuff you can do with this here. It's really, really fun just to play around with and kind of see what comes out of it. You know, my wife and I actually were talking about Canada the other day because we were saying, yeah, it's too cold, but healthcare and some of the other things you guys got going on up there, you're definitely doing it, you know. Let's go in subtool and make sure I got everything off for the mask. We're going to take the draw size down. Too big still. Let's do 13. That should be good. Nah, I hit the button again. I haven't explored rigging in here yet. I know that there's a way to do it. And then, of course, you could take this model and use it as a game character as well, which is kind of cool. That would be one of the reasons to go to OBJ. Need to take my mask off before I divide. That's why the polygons aren't getting any smaller. There we go. Oh, see, I still got that pattern on. So we go to alpha and freehand. Make this guy a little bit more angular, I think. Strongly defined jaw. Grab our snake hook one more time here. And again, I want to change that to dynamic to get those. I just made it, man. You'll have to rewind. Yeah, I mean, it's that quick, dude. And let's do... Oh, it's saving. So it's going to lock me up for a minute while it saves it. Auto saves. And it auto saves quite a bit, which is good. Okay. I can go in. And you see how my computer's working way better now because I rebooted it so that freaking memory leak wouldn't affect me as bad. Yeah, a little bit of tentacles. They're gonna look like horns here after I give them some texture. Hopefully to match the armor. Turn dynamic back off so it doesn't take forever. There we go. The dynamic subdivision is basically subdividing as I draw on so it doesn't become blocky like this. I can divide this more and smooth it here in a little bit, but for right now... Okay, we'll divide one more time. And then I want to, using the alternate of my damage standard, I'm going to just kind of give it this chunky appearance like that's poking out of the flesh here. A little more horn-like, and then we can go back to our layered pattern brush. Let's get something like this, I think. Whoops, you don't want that on the neck. So now we have these like horn-like protrusions. Not much editing at all. I mean, you guys seen as far as putting the armor on, making slight alterations to the face. Let's do... I need to grab the right subtool. I'm still on the body. Clear my mask, and then... I'll kind of show you how we did the armor. Yeah, it does. It looks very Daedric, doesn't it? Otherwise, I was thinking... I'm a big Wheel of Time fan, and that got me into reading a lot of Brandon Sanderson books and his series now. There's a race of people called the Parshendi who like basically take on different forms. This kind of reminds me of their war form because their actual body in that form turns to armor, which is pretty cool. Change our thickness back to 2 because that's what it was set at for the other armor. Whoa, no, what the hell? Oh yeah, no, duh, it was 0.02. And that's a little thick, so let's do 0.015. that down, take that down. Make sure I can get at his wrist or he's got no mobility there. Then we will deselect our mask. Yeah, so I mean, not a bad start to a game character or something like that. It's actually be a pretty decent model to print. I mean, you're going to have overhangs here in the arms, obviously, as well as the beard. That's another thing to keep in mind, depending on what you're modeling for. You might want to decide a different angle for, say, the head, because if I tilt the head up like he's looking upward, we would then reduce this overhang here, because it would be pointed out. Still probably needs support unless I head all the way back, but orientation in 3D printing is a... So let's do some detail on this armor here. Give him some Batman spikes. How about that? Go back to dynamic so these come out right. The most annoying thing about this, so what happening is I'm holding down the Alt button to move. Okay, so you hold Alt, touch the pen to the thing, and you can drag it around. But if I let go of the Alt button, that's how you get to the zoom. So one of the tricky things is remember if I want to move and keep it where I left it, to let go of the pen, and if I want to zoom, to let go of the Alt button and hold the pen there. Yeah. My phone's right here. Are you? I'm in the general 3D print chat right now. I don't know where. Oh wait. Here we go. There we go. What? Move to Canada? Is that the stipulation? I hope my wife and your old lady have been talking. I know they connected. I know they'll get along. Oh. Man, I appreciate that. I appreciate everything you do for me, buddy. Oh, the stipulation is to be quiet. about it. Gotcha. Let's see here. Just want my standard brush, man. Where's it at? So I just hit S. That'll narrow it down. Yeah, I figured they get along pretty well. Your wife seems like a pretty nice lady, and I don't know how what's up with me either, so they must be best friends. Moved to Canada. I guessed it. I nailed it. Oh man, I was actually just checking. We own this house, and I gotta get some. I have like we got hailed out like 2 years ago, and it put like 3 holes in the siding in the back of my house. So I gotta fix those 3. They're under my. I have extra siding under my house, but I need to pull it out and fix it. And then we were debating renting the place out or selling it and buying a new place where we go. But I was just checking my credit score, and it's actually been going up lately, which is good. So it might be a possibility to refinance, and then I mean that would help quite a bit. But like I said, my credit's still not great. Now would be the time to refinance, though, for sure. Yeah, you know I was just joking, right? Like, obviously. All right, so I'm gonna save this document, and one of the things you need to do when you're doing ZBrush is not save, not don't hit save right here. You want to hit save as. If you hit save, I'll show you in a second. So, save the document. We'll call it Daedric Armor. Because if I go up here and I go, whoa, whoops. Now it's a tool. Damn it. We'll do it this way then. This is another thing that annoys the hell out of me. Alright, so good thing I saved it, because I don't know what I hit. Wait, we can go to document, revert. Okay. Alright, so if I go to document and save, it'll save it. You can save it as like an actual picture, which is what it does by default. It might have changed now that I save as. Yeah, so it saved it as a brush. So now that it's a brush, I can select the brush. I can hide the light box, and I can drag and drop. That's not the right one. It's in here somewhere. Anyway, I don't need that guy in there. So yeah, so basically, saving is a pain in the ass. Got to remember to do it the right way, and otherwise you have issues and things like that. So. I'll tell you what, man. Everybody in Canada is as cool as you. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, we're working on it. Okay, so here's where I get screwed up. Okay. I somehow got out of edit mode, and without that, I can't manipulate the model anymore. And if you look in here, these subtools are not the tools that I'm using here. So let's try that. Lightbox, tools. Recent. That's the tool. Don't want to save the tool. Yeah, I mean, so ZBRUSH is a lot stronger. I'm going to show you my messy desktop here real quick. I can open up Blender here. Blender it has a sculpting mode. It's not quite as powerful, but it is pretty sweet nonetheless. It just doesn't have some of the options already that this has. You can add tools and brushes to Blender as well. And it works with the tablet. This is just... How do I... Here we go. It'll be in here. Alright, so this looks to be a little bit behind where I am now because you can't see the detail on the chin and stuff, but it will load that, and then I will be able to, as you can see, I'm back in edit mode. This was the last autosave, so I need to go in and redo my damage standard on this here. That's selected. Z-add. So I have dynamic geometry on right now, don't I? Yep. So turn that off. Maybe. Oh. I am so tired and I gotta go to work in like 2 hours. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. I will be back on probably, I think I have tomorrow off. I need to finish my review of the Mingda 3D printer and do a couple other things. Anet sent me an ET5, which is a rather large printer. I've been debating leaving it in the box until I move. But since I'm not quite sure how long that's going to be yet, we will probably do an unboxing pretty soon for it, and the assembly video, and of course the reviews. So thanks for watching, guys. I definitely recommend checking this out. ZBRUSH is awesome, and I will see you in the next one. Sergeant, I gotta get ready to head out here, but I will be on and off the Discord tonight because my current part-time job is not very stressful at all. I just don't do much. So we'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Yeah, Mama Dude, I did do a little bit of looking at that. I actually, dude, you have like the sweetest looking Kira setup I have ever seen right now, between your bed and the custom theme. So I was watching that video, was the last one of yours I watched, and I definitely made sure to retweet it and tweeted it at some pretty big people. So hopefully they give you some views. I thought that was really, really cool. But I try to watch all your videos, man, because you're here supporting me all the time. So I appreciate it.